Hi you guys, I want to share with you the So Cool April Paper Pumpkin 2021. I love this kit. Okay, I've already made like 40 something cards and I could keep going and going and going. So let's get into it right away. First of all, you have a great stamp set that you will use over and over again. It's got a popsicle, it's got a watermelon, it's got a little splash like drips from the popsicle, but it's a good background for all kinds of things. You've got hay there, you've got a happy birthday, you've got you are so cool, and turn it this way and it says way to go. These are great sizes for the front of cards or for the inside of cards. So just to start out with, your first cards are exactly the way they show here. There's 3 of 4 different designs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so very basic. And I wanted to go over them real quickly with you. You'll have no problem whatsoever. So this is the watermelon card. It opens this way. And what they tell you to do is use the shiny silver stuff behind and then stamp the way to go. You take some twine and just wrap it around your fingers and stuff it underneath in between your dimensionals, and that's it. But if you've got a little stamp, a little punch, I punched mine in, I used one of the small bloom punches in the middle, and I can then use that piece for something else, because when you glue the white piece onto the silver piece, you'll never know. So if you want to do that ahead of time, with either a 1-inch circle or another little punch, maybe some leaves that you have, you can go ahead and do that. Nobody will know. Nobody will be the wiser. So that's that card. Really basic. The other card that is shaped exactly the same way, but it opens differently, is the rainbow card. And the rainbow card opens from the top. Again, it just uses a piece of that silver, and then the happy birthday is stamped onto it. The twine is like just around your fingers and then stuffed behind with your dimensionals, and that holds it on. Now, another little trick is you can take your piece of silver, oh my gosh, and you can cut it in half. Cut it in half and then cut the halves in half, and you've got enough silver pieces for 2 cards instead of 1 card. Again, you can glue them just on the outside edge, like right around where that little seam piece is right here. You can just put a bead of glue, and you can put 2 of the quarter pieces there, and then so you get 2 cards out of 1 piece of the shimmery silver. So that's how you do that card. The popsicles, I love the popsicles. This popsicle is You Are So Cool. And again, it opens up this way. I didn't put anything inside because you might want to make these congratulations for a high school graduation. You may want to make them for a birthday. You might want to make them as a thank you. So you can do all kinds of things inside the card. And you can use your other stamp sentiments on the inside too. So again, it's the same principle. You're going to use one of your long tabs and you're going to stamp You Are So Cool. You're going to put your piece of silver behind it, or you're going to use the quarter pieces and just glue them on either end like I told you to do. And then you're going to use your twine again, just wrap it around your fingers and stuff it in there with a couple of your dimensionals, pop it up on dimensionals, and that's it for this card. I was thinking of, like I said, graduation, kids' birthdays, anybody's birthday, thank you notes, just thinking of you card. So perfect for the spring and summertime. Then the last card is another one of the popsicle cards. And again, you use the silver medallion. And remember to cut out the middle of your silver medallion if you've got a punch, so that you can use double duty. So I'll show you later how I use those flowers. Again, you stamped and you glued it onto the silver medallion and then wrapped the twine underneath and bumped it up on dimensionals. And there you go. Hey there. And Megan Douglas, I always think of you when I see or hear hey there, because I don't know, it seemed like you used that a lot and it always sounded so cool when you said it to the kids. Okay, now let's go on to my optional cards. So what you have this time is I gave you a piece of Calypso coral, and inside the Calypso coral you also have a white piece of paper that you can put in there to add. What I did is I used another one of the medallions. I glued it flat onto the popsicle instead of bumping it up, because I bumped up the whole popsicle. I first put the DSP, and again, you've got the same piece of DSP, so you can choose whether you want to use this side or that side. And if you do it like this, it looks like that. If you use it like this, it looks like that. So it looks great either way. And by the way, this is the other side of the popsicle. So what I did is I cut the popsicle in half. I used the front half of the popsicle, bumped it up flat with the medallion and the stamp, and then I just added some little bit of bling that I had laying around the house. What I did on the back side, which is blank, I actually used my Stampin' Blends markers, you know, these alcohol-based, so if you've got alcohol-based markers of any kind, but the Stampin' Blends works great. And then I used this color lifter, the color lifter, to make the blots that made it look kind of like that one. I left some white spaces. I just didn't color it all in. And look, I made one that looks almost exactly the same. We're just doing this card, but if you wanted to make a second card with the back side, here's an idea. Okay, so there's the first card. The second card is actually the rest of the cards I am using the stickers, and I love these stickers. But I don't love that they're sticky on the back side because you can't bump them up with dimensionals. So I'm going to show you a little trick. So on this, I am taking, this is called an embossing buddy, and you can't get it from Stampin' Up! Anymore, but you can get them at Hobby Lobby or on Amazon. You can also just use some cornstarch from your kitchen. So if you don't have one of these, get some cornstarch and put it in a little bowl, and then use a little dry sponge and daub it on to the back of your stamps, and it'll make them unsticky. So see, it's sticky right now, and then I'm going to put this embossing buddy, I'm going to just tap it. And if you've got just cornstarch, then you're going to just take your cornstarch and take a little sponge. Don't wet it. Keep it dry and just tap it over your stamp until it's not sticky anymore. And then look, it doesn't stick. So then now you can put dimensionals on it and use it as a dimensional piece, and it doesn't stick. So isn't that great? That's what I did on all the rest of the cards. So I took the stamps and I went from sticky to not sticky. So you might want to do that ahead of our class next Friday and just make all of your stickers not sticky, or the ones that you don't want to make sticky. You know, you don't have to do them all because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got 20 stickers, and I used some of them inside the cards to just as a sticker. Like this one, I used actually one of the stickers for the inside, and I left it as a sticker. It's not bumped up, but these now are not sticky any longer, and I can bump them up. So let's look and see what I did. So the first card is a simple, starts with a white card base, and you've got that card base. You also have a piece of torn Bermuda Bay paper, and you're going to glue the torn Bermuda Bay paper on the bottom of your card in landscape position. And then you'll notice that there's some green here. I used Pear Pizzazz, but you can use any green. And I used the dauber method like we did with our Christmas card club. So took my dauber and I dab on the ink pad, and then I swirled it. I did not lift it, and I swirled it around just in a random shape. Doesn't matter because you're going to cover it up then with these two pieces. And so I used, you know, my stickers that are not stickers anymore, and I bumped them up on dimensionals and put them right over the top. Then I tied a double bow with the twine that's in your kit. And then I used a piece of scrap white that's also in your kit, and I stamped "Hey There," and then I cut it out, and I just separated the words by cutting them out, and I used dimensionals on it. I used a little bit of the like the splatter, and stamped it right there on in Bermuda Bay, which is the same color as what's in the kit. So again, I left it open because I might want to make it a birthday card. I might want to make it a thinking of you, or a congratulations card, or just a plain old note. So I've left it open for myself to decide what to do on the inside at a later date. The next card we're going to look at is another card using the non-sticky sticker. And you've got a Bermuda Bay background cardstock piece, so please go ahead and use that. You've also got a piece of DSP, and there's berries on one side, and then it's got these pretty leaves on the back side, and a piece of white, basic white paper. I took the basic white and I did the Bermuda Bay, and then I left room to put Pear Pizzazz dots in between. And then I glued that onto the DSP before I put it on the card base. So I took the DSP and I so the DSP is like this, and I stamped on my white piece and glued it first. Then what I did is I took my twine and I wrapped it around the DSP, tied a bow, and then I glued it flat onto the cardstock. I also glued the oval that I gave you flat onto the cardstock. It's just basic white, and you might not have had an oval shape. Maybe it's a rectangular shape. It doesn't matter. I had some leftovers that I used. And then I bumped the popsicle up on dimensionals and did the same thing with the Hey There. I stamped it on the scrap piece of basic white, and then I cut it out. Hey There. And then what I did on the inside is I glued the larger piece of basic white, and I took a little bit of Pear Pizzazz and I think it was Pineapple Punch that I used. I stamped it in Bermuda Bay first. I added, this is the bronze color of the Stampin' Blends, and then this was the Pear Pizzazz and the Pineapple Punch to get that look. So it kind of looks like the same colors on that one. So love that card. I hope you like it too. And the next card is using the same technique. Well, here's my little, hold on so I can keep these all together and I don't lose them. Okay. The next one again has a basic white background, and it's got 4 pieces of designer series paper. It's just the front and the back of the same designer series paper already cut out for you, and you also have a piece of Bermuda Bay torn piece. So you're going to glue the no, we didn't do that. What I did is I started over on this side. I glued the first piece of DSP, and then I flipped it over and glued the next one. Then I glued the next one and the following, and then I topped it with the Bermuda Bay. And you'll notice that they're not, I didn't try to make them all even. You can make yours even if you want, but I think the randomness of them looks good. I took the piece of rectangular basic white with the stitched that I gave you. I glued it flat in the middle, and then I bumped the popsicle up on dimensionals, and the same with the Hey There. And again, left it open so that I could do anything I wanted on the inside. I gave you plenty of twine for this one so that you can wrap it around 2 or 3 times and tie a nice generous bow. I like the hanging down pieces. So quick and easy. That's what that card looks like. The last card that we're doing today is Oh Happy Day. And actually it says happy birthday, but I stamped the happy birthday and then I cut the birth out of it, and so I just had happy day. So again, it could be a birthday, it could be an announcement, a congratulations, thinking of you, however you want to make it. And this card, you have different pieces of paper again. I did give you a large enough piece of DSP so that you can rip it and use one side facing one way and one side facing the other. I started by putting this piece down first, and I didn't tear it. Then I tore a piece so that the tear would be on the right side, and did the same with the bumblebee, and then the same with the calypso coral, and then flipped over my DSP and finished this edge over here with the edge being about 1/4 of an inch, similar to this side. I then unstuck my rainbow sticker and I used dimensionals to pop it up, and I did the happy day and I cut them and popped them up. So there, oh, and I also did a double bow right here up in the corner, but you might want to put it down here, over here, up here. You know, you can choose where to put it. Alrighty, so those are our cards for this month. I'm super excited about them, but I wanted to share with you what I did with the rest of the cards. Again, I don't particularly like the different sized cards, so I cut them apart. And look at this is the front of the rainbow card. This is the back of the rainbow card, and again, using my Stampin' Blends, I just replicated what this rainbow looked like the best I could. It's not perfect, but I think it looks pretty good. And then, do you recognize these? These are the, I used the stencil from last month and made some Bermuda Bay clouds. And I put the happy birthday, and I cut my silver piece so that I only used one piece for both cards together. Isn't that cool? Then I used a little bit of the gems just to make it fancy. And on the inside, I put my own sentiment, and I used the rainbow sticker. So I thought the cards turned out really well. So that's the way the rainbow looks. Look what I did with the watermelon. So again, I took the front, I cut it in half, and I just used the front and the hay there, and one of the sun stickers, and I actually used it as a sticker. I kept it on the card that way. And I did the watermelon inside, it's the sticker. And I took a little bite out of the watermelons with my with one of my punches, and so I glued the bite to the envelope, and the little piece of sun that I cut off the top, I put it on the outside of the card, so nothing went to waste. So that was fun with that card. And one more. This was the kiwi card, and I cut it in half, and you'll notice, okay, look at the bling. And where did those come from? The center of the medallions. So I bumped it up on dimensionals. I did just randomly stamped the popsicle on the cardstock, and then I also did some of the blobs. And this is the one that I did from the back. So I just took my stamp cubes and I just went straight across with 4 different colors, and you can use whatever colors you have. I did the happy birthday, and then I just cut my own piece of paper behind it. So instead of that being the silver, I just used Bermuda Bay on this one, and I think Pear Pizzazz on this one. And then the silver comes in because I used the middle punch. And then for this one, I used 2 colors of the drops around the card. So I think it turned out really cool. And you know what, you guys, I could keep going with this card kit. Oh, and then for the outside, I just did the stamping there and the stamping on the outside of the envelope. Easy peasy. Okay, I'm sure I'll have more to do with this card that I'll probably share with you next Friday, but I'll see you May the 7th. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.